Are you ready to pass the AZ-900 exam on your very first attempt? Most candidates fail because they understand the concepts but don't know how Microsoft phrases their questions. In this video, we will cover Azure Fundamentals AZ-900 certification practice questions and full training. Unlock your potential in the cloud with our comprehensive guide to the AZ-900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals exam. In this video, we are breaking down 30 high-yield practice questions for the Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamentals certification. We cover cloud concepts, architecture, services, and governance. Make sure to grab a notebook, and let's see how many you can get right. Which cloud model provides the greatest degree of flexibility and scalability by allowing a company to use both its own on-premises servers and a third-party cloud provider? Option A, public cloud. Option B, private cloud. Option C, hybrid cloud. Option D, community cloud. The correct answer is C. Hybrid cloud is a computing environment that combines a public cloud and a private cloud on-premises infrastructure by allowing data and applications to be shared between them. This gives businesses greater flexibility, more deployment options, and helps optimize existing infrastructure, security, and compliance. Public cloud is solely third-party, and private cloud is restricted to one organization. An organization wants to migrate to the cloud but must minimize administrative effort for managing the underlying OS and hardware. Which service model should they choose? Option A, Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. Option B, Platform as a Service, PaaS. Option C, Software as a Service, SaaS. Option D, Desktop as a Service, DaaS. The correct answer is B. Platform as a Service, PaaS, provides a framework for developers that they can build upon and use to create customized applications. All servers, storage, and networking can be managed by the enterprise or a third-party provider while the developers maintain management of the applications. It significantly reduces OS management compared to IaaS, while offering more customization than SaaS. Which Azure component is used to manage multiple subscriptions under a single hierarchy for unified policy and compliance application? Option A, Resource Groups. Option B, Management Groups. Option C, Azure Active Directory. Option D, Azure Policy. The correct answer is B. Management groups are containers that help you manage access, policy, and compliance for multiple subscriptions. All subscriptions within a management group automatically inherit the conditions applied to the management group. This is the highest level of organization above individual subscriptions. You need to ensure that your Azure virtual machines remain available if a single data center within an Azure region fails. What should you use? Option A, Availability Sets. Option B, Availability Zones. Option C, Region Pairs. Option D, Resource Groups. The correct answer is B. Availability zones are unique physical locations within an Azure region. Each zone is made up of one or more data centers equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking. By using availability zones, you can protect your applications and data from data center failures. Availability sets only protect against hardware failure within a single data center. Which Azure service is best suited for hosting a web application that requires automatic scaling and supports multiple programming languages without managing servers? Option A, Azure Virtual Machines. Option B, Azure App Service. Option C, Azure SQL Database. Option D, Azure Functions. The correct answer is B. Azure App Service is a HTTP-based service for hosting web applications, REST APIs, and mobile backends. It is a PaaS solution, meaning Azure handles the infrastructure, scaling, and security patching, allowing users to focus on the code, while Azure Functions is also serverless. It is meant for event-driven small snippets of code rather than full web applications. A company needs to connect their on-premises network to Azure using a dedicated, private connection that does not go over the public internet. Which service should they use? Option A, Azure VPN Gateway. Option B, Azure ExpressRoute. Option C, Azure Front Door. Option D, Azure Traffic Manager. The correct answer is B. Azure ExpressRoute lets you extend your on-premises networks into the Microsoft Cloud over a private connection with the help of a connectivity provider. ExpressRoute connections do not go over the public internet, offering more reliability, faster speeds, and consistent latencies. VPN gateways, conversely, use the public internet with encryption. Which of the following describes elasticity in cloud computing? Option A, the ability to recover from a disaster. Option B, the ability to reach users globally. Option C, the ability to scale resources dynamically based on demand. Option D, the ability to maintain high uptime. The correct answer is C. Elasticity is the ability of a system to grow or shrink its resource allocation, like CPU, memory, or storage, automatically to match the current demand. This ensures that you only pay for what you use and that the application remains responsive during traffic spikes. Which service should be used to store large amounts of unstructured data, such as videos and images, that can be accessed from anywhere via HTTP? Option A, Azure SQL Database. Option B, Azure Files. Option C, Azure Blob Storage. Option D, Azure Table Storage. The correct answer is C. Azure Blob Storage is Microsoft's object storage solution for the cloud. Blob storage is optimized for storing massive amounts of unstructured data. Unstructured data is data that doesn't adhere to a particular data model or definition, such as text or binary data, images, videos, documents. Which tool provides a set of tools for monitoring, allocating, and optimizing Azure costs? Option A, Azure Advisor. Option B, Azure Cost Management plus Billing. Option C, Azure Monitor. Option D, Azure Service Health. The correct answer is B. Azure Cost Management plus Billing is a suite of tools provided by Microsoft that help you analyze, manage, and optimize the costs of your workloads. It allows you to set budgets, export data, and receive alerts when spending reaches certain thresholds. You need to prevent the accidental deletion of a critical production database in Azure. What should you apply to the resource? Option A, Azure Policy. Option B, Role-Based Access Control. RBAC. Option C. Resource locks. Option D. Management groups. The correct answer is C. Resource locks help you prevent accidental deletion or modification of your Azure resources. There are two types. Cannot delete. Authorized users can read and modify, but not delete. And read-only. Authorized users can read, but not delete or update. This is the most direct way to prevent accidental deletion. Which Azure service is a serverless, event-driven compute service that lets you run code without explicitly provisioning or managing infrastructure? Option A. Azure Functions. Option B. Azure Logic Apps. Option C. Azure App Service. Option D. Azure Container Instances. The correct answer is A. Azure Functions is a serverless solution that allows you to write less code, maintain less infrastructure, and save on costs. Instead of worrying about deploying and maintaining servers, the cloud infrastructure provides all the up-to-date resources needed to keep your applications running. It is specifically event-driven. What is the primary function of the Azure Resource Manager, ARM? Option A. To provide a command line interface. Option B. To monitor application performance. Option C. To provide a management layer for creating, updating, and deleting resources. Option D. To manage physical hardware in data centers. The correct answer is C. Azure Resource Manager, ARM, is the deployment and management service for Azure. It provides a management layer that enables you to create, update, and delete resources in your Azure account. You use management features, like access control, locks, and tags, to secure and organize your resources after deployment. In the shared responsibility model, which of the following is always the responsibility of the customer, regardless of the cloud model? IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. Option A. Physical security of data centers. Option B. Operating system updates. Option C. Data and information. Option D. Network hardware. The correct answer is C. In the shared responsibility model, the customer always retains responsibility for the data and information they put into the cloud. They also usually manage identity and access. The cloud provider always manages physical security and hardware. Which Azure service provides personalized recommendations on how to follow best practices for cost, security, reliability, performance, and operational excellence? Option A. Azure Monitor. Option B. Azure Service Health. Option C. Azure Advisor. Option D. Azure Policy. The correct answer is C. Azure Advisor is a personalized cloud consultant that helps you follow best practices to optimize your Azure deployments. It analyzes your resource configuration and usage telemetry and then recommends solutions that can help you improve the cost-effectiveness, performance, reliability, and security of your Azure resources. Which Azure database service is a globally distributed, multi-model database that supports various APIs like NoSQL and MongoDB? Option A. Azure SQL Database. Option B. Azure Cosmos DB. Option C. Azure Database for PostgreSQL. Option D. Azure SQL Managed Instance. The correct answer is B. Azure Cosmos DB is a fully managed NoSQL database for modern app development. It offers single-digit millisecond response times and automatic and instant scalability, along with guaranteed speed at any scale. It is multi-model, supporting document, key value, graph, and column family data models. What can you use to ensure that all virtual machines in a specific resource group are restricted to a certain size? Option A. Role-based access control. Option B. Azure policy. Option C. Azure blueprint. Option D. Azure locks. The correct answer is B. Azure policy helps to enforce organizational standards and to assess compliance at scale. Through its compliance dashboard, it provides an aggregated view to evaluate the overall state of the environment. Common use cases for Azure policy include implementing governance for resource consistency, regulatory compliance, security, cost, and management. Which service acts as a gatekeeper to filter incoming and outgoing network traffic to Azure? Resources within a virtual network. VNet. Option A. Azure Firewall. Option B. Network Security Group. NSG. Option C. Azure Bastion. Option D. Load Balancer. The correct answer is B. A network security group, NSG, contains security rules that allow or deny inbound network traffic to, or outbound network traffic from, several types of Azure resources. For each rule, you can specify source and destination, port, and protocol. Azure Firewall is more robust and stateful, but NSGs are the primary basic filter. What is the purpose of the Azure region pair? Option A. To provide low latency connections between regions. Option B. To ensure data residency within the same country. Option C. To allow for disaster recovery by replicating resources to a region at least 300 miles away. Option D. To share management groups between regions. The correct answer is C. An Azure region pair consists of two regions within the same geography. Microsoft serializes platform updates, planned maintenance, so that only one region in each pair is updated at a time. In the event of an outage affecting multiple regions, at least one region in each pair will be prioritized for recovery. Which of the following describes capital expenditure, CapEx? Option A. Spending money on services and being billed as you use them. Option B. Spending money on physical infrastructure upfront. Option C. The cost of monthly cloud subscriptions. Option D. Operating expenses for a business. The correct answer is B. CapEx involves spending money on physical infrastructure up front, and then deducting that expense from your tax bill over time. CapEx is an upfront cost, which has a value that reduces over time. OpEx, operating expenditure, is what the cloud usually falls under, where you pay as you go. Which service is used to centralize and manage secrets, keys, and certificates? Option A. Azure Active Directory. Option B. Azure Key Vault. Option C. Azure Security Center. Option D. Azure Information Protection. The correct answer is B. Azure Key Vault is a cloud service for securely storing and accessing secrets. A secret is anything that you want to tightly control access to. such as API keys, passwords, certificates, or cryptographic keys. It helps solve problems regarding secret management and key management. Which tool provides a command line experience for managing Azure resources and can be run in a web browser? Option A, Azure Portal. Option B, Azure Cloud Shell. Option C, Azure PowerShell. Option D, Azure CLI. The correct answer is B. Azure Cloud Shell is an interactive, authenticated, browser-accessible shell for managing Azure resources. It provides the flexibility of choosing the shell experience that best suits the way you work. Either Bash or PowerShell. You don't need to install anything on your local machine. What is the Service Level Agreement, SLA? Option A, a document describing the user's responsibilities. Option B, a Microsoft commitment for uptime and connectivity. Option C, a guide for using Azure services. Option D, a legal contract for data privacy. The correct answer is B. The Service Level Agreement, SLA, describes Microsoft's commitments for uptime and connectivity for specific services. If a service does not meet its SLA, Microsoft provides a service credit for a percentage of the monthly service fees. Which Azure service provides a platform for big data analytics using Spark, Hive, and Kafka? Option A, Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Option B, Azure HD Insight. Option C, Azure Data Lake Storage. Option D, Azure Databricks. The correct answer is B. Azure HD Insight is a managed, full-spectrum, open-source analytics service in the cloud for enterprises. You can use open-source frameworks such as Hadoop, Apache Spark, Apache Hive, LLAP, Apache Kafka, Apache Storm, R, and more. While Databricks also uses Spark, HD Insight is the broader service for these open-source frameworks. Which Azure service allows users to run Windows or Linux virtual machines? Option A, Azure Functions. Option B, Azure App Service. Option C, Azure Virtual Machines. Option D, Azure Container Instances. The correct answer is C. Azure Virtual Machines, VMs, is one of several types of on-demand, scalable computing resources that Azure offers. Typically, you choose a VM when you need more control over the computing environment than the other choices offer. This is an infrastructure as a service, IaaS, offering. Which cloud characteristic allows you to pay only for the resources you use? Option A, high availability. Option B, scalability. Option C, consumption-based model. Option D, agility. The correct answer is C. Cloud computing operates on a consumption-based model, which means that end users only pay for the resources that they use. Whatever they use is what they pay for. This leads to better cost prediction and eliminates the need for large upfront infrastructure investments. A team needs to track when a specific resource was deleted and who performed the action. Which service should they check? Option A, Azure Monitor Metrics. Option B, Azure Activity Log. Option C, Azure Advisor. Option D, Azure Policy. The correct answer is B. The Azure Activity Log is a platform log in Azure that provides insight into subscription-level events. This includes such information as when a resource is modified or when a virtual machine is started. You can use the activity log to determine the what, who, and when for any write operations, put, post, delete, taken on the resources in your subscription. You want to store data in a way that it is automatically replicated to a second region for high durability. Which storage account feature should you enable? Option A. Locally redundant storage. LRS. Option B. Zone redundant storage. ZRS. Option C. Geo-redundant storage. GRS. Option D. Read access geo-redundant storage. RAW GRS. The correct answer is C. Geo-redundant storage. GRS. Copies your data synchronously 3 times within a single physical location in the primary region. Using LRS, it then copies your data asynchronously to a single physical location in a secondary region that is hundreds of miles away from the primary region. What is the main goal of the Azure well-architected framework? Option A. To provide a list of all Azure services. Option B. To help improve the quality of a workload by following best practices. Option C. To create Azure Resource Manager templates. Option D. To provide billing support. The correct answer is B. The Azure well-architected framework is a set of guiding tenets that can be used to improve the quality of a workload. The framework consists of 5 pillars of architectural excellence: cost optimization, operational excellence, performance efficiency, reliability, and security. Which Azure service is a fully managed enterprise-grade file share in the cloud that can be accessed via SMB or NFS? Option A. Azure Blob Storage. Option B. Azure Files. Option C. Azure Disk Storage. Option D. Azure Data Lake Storage General 2. The correct answer is B. Azure Files offers fully managed file shares in the cloud that are accessible via the industry standard server message block, SMB, protocol or network file system, NFS, protocol. Azure file shares can be mounted concurrently by cloud or on-premises deployments of Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Which Azure tool allows you to view the status of Microsoft Azure services globally and receive notifications of outages? Option A. Azure Monitor. Option B. Azure Advisor. Option C. Azure Service Health. Option D. Azure Resource Health. The correct answer is C. Azure Service Health notifies you about Azure service incidents and planned maintenance so you can take action to mitigate downtime. It provides a personalized dashboard that allows you to see the status of the Azure services in the regions where you use them. That concludes our 30-question mock exam for the Azure Fundamentals AZ-900 certification. How did you do? If you scored over 80%, you're in great shape for the real thing. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more cloud certification content. If you want more practice, click the Udemy link in the description to access our full exam bank. For a complete set of over 300+ realistic practice questions, check out the full exam prep link in the description below.